This is the Oakwyn Podcast, featuring Morgan Browne and Michael Yu.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Oakwyn Podcast. My name is Morgan Browne.
I'm Arlene Chiang.
And I'm the Podfather.
And we are so lucky today, guys. We have a special guest. She's sitting right next to me, a beautiful woman right next to me. Her name is Lynn Hughes with SSDG.
Hello.
Welcome,
Yay.
Thanks for having me. This is
Lynn,
exciting.
what is your title there at SSDG?
I am a principal at SSDG. I'm a new principal. So I've been with the company for 14 years.
Woo.
And about a year and a half ago, I bought
Became principal.
Susan Steves out and became the new Susan.
Isn't that beautiful?
Well, tell for people who don't know what SSDG is and
Yeah.
the company, and tell us about
What we do.
SSDG. Yeah.
So SSDG is an interior design firm. We are 20 designers strong these days. We do almost entirely corporate work, a little bit of hospitality, a little bit of retail, no residential at this point.
Ooh, is that like at this point, do?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just do my house.
Delete that. And we've been in business for 40 years. We're one of the oldest firms in town, and we do great work.
And how do we know each other?
And how do we know each other?
Oh my
When did I meet you
gosh.
guys? Maybe it's been 9 years?
8
8
years.
years?
Well, when
8
we were
years.
pregnant.
We were pregnant.
8 years. I remember it like it was yesterday when Susan came in here and told me everything that was wrong with the space. I'm like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. So this is the trials and tribulations of opening an office and picking the right team. You
So
know?
I think this is the first thing. First of all, we know Lynn because everyone knows Oakwyn has these incredible spaces, and it's because of Lynn. It's because of you.
Thanks.
You have put, I think when we started Oakwyn, we didn't just start a brand. We started an office. We started a space, right?
And
At
a culture.
Like
Like you guys had the Oakwyn culture was always the thing.
It was always the thing. And we brought you in right at the forefront. So we created this brand and the space, the culture all at one time. And it's because of you that it is what it is today. So thank you, Lynn.
I would say it's less than half me. You guys had such a strong vision and finger in what was going to happen that it was really, I was the facilitator. You guys were the real driver, I think.
So funny story, when we started the office, we tendered pretty much.
Yeah, we met with a lot of
Probably
different interior
4
designers. We were actually working with somebody who had done a space plan for
I
us
remember.
already.
And you had a 3D, you had a SketchUp.
We
with
already
those,
had everything
Everything.
of planned out, and it just didn't feel right.
No.
You know, when we were starting out building the space and building Oakwyn, part of it was we felt that not only was the culture in the brokerage business kind of broken, but the office spaces, if you've been into
Were
some
dismal.
of the old brokerage offices, it was not somewhere that you maybe wanted to spend that much time. And you definitely would rather go to a Starbucks with your client than bring them into your office. And you're like, that's strange. Like you're bringing your client to a Starbucks writing $1 million contract. And that was very commonplace. And so we thought, okay, well, part of bringing people together, being collaborative and all that was to create beautiful office spaces.
space people want to be.
Yeah.
And I think we were so impressed with you and the firm, the whole SSDG group, because you kind of like, it's like you made a space work, but in a very innovative way. You weren't afraid to think out of the box, move things around. But yeah,
But also take together, like I remember the first time, at least it was Susan, I think, that we first met, and she came into the space. You need to use
The curve.
The curve.
I remember.
and
That was
the
so
previous designer was like, get rid of the curve.
Yeah.
And
Thank God we didn't.
Yeah. And it's just so part of the Oakwyn.
It makes so much
Yeah.
sense. It makes so much sense.
And we're like, I remember leaving that. Me and Morgan's like, this is the one. I don't care if they're most expensive right now.
was that
These are the
person.
ones.
Well, I remember the interview, and Arlene, you specifically asked, if something is too expensive, will you make us do it? And I thought, what a
Of course I would
strange,
ask
She's
that.
the
but what a
numbers.
strange question. Are there designers who say, well, you have to have this. It doesn't matter how much it costs. Like that's just not the right solution in my opinion, anyways. But that made a really real impact on me. Thinking, no, it's your money. We're going to spend it how you need to spend it, but we're going to find the value in the right place, right? Like,
you did do that, and now we're now onto our third space. And this is what's so exciting about this podcast, because we get to hear a little bit about, number one, what do you think of when you think about Oakwyn and you think about our space? What's the first thing that kind of pops in your mind about developing what it is for our office spaces?
So you have a very strong brand, and we use your brand in every space, but in a slightly different way. Like, we could have just cookie cuttered you in each space. Same front reception desk, same front entry, same lights in your boardroom, whatever it is. But instead, we've taken little elements from this first one and used them in each one. So, there's an element of this live edge table in your boardrooms, but they're all a little bit different. Your reception desk, there's a natural stone element, but they're all a little different. And it's, you guys, to me, it's young and clean, modern, and it's really focused on your culture.
That's great.
What's your thought process when you kind of think you're working in commercial space and with, if people are looking to get into interviewing an interior designer and things like that, like, how do you work with your clients?
For us, and again, so SSDG was the first place I'd ever worked. It's my only experience with design, so I don't know how other people work. We are really client first. So the design is not about us. If you look at our website, they're all different because the design is really based on the client, what they want, what they need, what their culture says. I've forgotten the question.
I don't remember it either. I was just listening.
So what is it? So your process when you bring somebody on?
Oh, right. So our process always starts with the client. So we always start with talking to the client. What do they need? What are they looking for? What's their driver? Why are they spending this money? What are they trying to get out of whatever we're doing? Is it bringing in business? Is it attracting employees? What we're finding a lot these days is space is more than your clients, people coming in, people you're trying to sell to. Then it's more about you're attracting people and retention of people, because finding people is so hard.
You're so right.
So you want whoever walks in for an interview to immediately be hit in the face with your brand, your culture, whatever, and say to themselves, I want to work here, before they've even talked to anybody.
I think what's so for people who don't know, SSDG has put their sparkle on many different offices, including Sparkling Hill. I'll just
That's right.
I'll just go right into that one. Sparkling Hills, Hootsuite.
That's right.
It's a really big one. So out of all of the spaces, it seems like you attract, definitely people that are brand heavy, right?
Yeah.
It seems like, for commercial spaces, but also a place where they want their employees to work.
It's very much about the people. And if you're going to spend the money, you want, and your people, aside from real estate, your people are your biggest cost. And so keeping your people happy, space is a huge part of that. I mean, there's the other stuff. There's the perks, free lunch and the other little bits, but it's the place that you live. I saw a meme the other day that it was a job posting, you must be a driven and what did it say? It was about ready for a fast-paced, energetic environment. And the image was of a little cubicle.
I saw the same one.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Right? But it's so like how those two things don't jive.
Don't work together.
No.
So now with COVID,
tell me.
Let's dive right into that.
I wanted to know.
Okay, so obviously, did everything stop when COVID happened in Vancouver? Did most of your projects put a
lot of them. Yeah. A lot of them. And that first couple of weeks, we were kind of going. And so I became partner.
I know.
A week after COVID, after lockdown, 2 weeks after the lockdown. So like it was, and all the paperwork had been done for months. It was just the turnover was April 1st, 2020, which was incredibly stressful.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, we were gripping the edge of the table a little going, what's going to happen? Not everything, but a lot of things got put on hold right away. A lot of things didn't too. Like there were leases that were signed, construction that was in progress already. So you just kind of have to keep going. And we actually found, and then we pivoted and found that a lot of landlords downtown, their buildings are empty. And so this is a great time to rejuvenate, do their lobbies, do their elevators while there's nobody in the building. So when everybody comes back, it's ready to go and they're positioned.
You just made an opportunity out of it.
Exactly.
Incredible.
Exactly. So that was a real saving grace for us for the last year. It's been busy.
Great.
It's been super busy. Yeah.
And do you feel like most people are like getting just changing their whole concept of what this looks like.
Work.
Yeah. What
Yes.
does work? What does work look like? Work and workspace look like?
Nobody really knows yet. And I think everybody's still looking to everybody else about what
There's a lot of
everybody's
opinions.
doing.
Where do you think
Yeah,
it's
it's a
going to
lot of
go?
opinions.
You work with a lot of clients,
Yeah.
and so you've got kind of all of the information coming from you.
So remote is here to stay. We know that, and we know, and again, back to employee retention, we know that if one company says, "Well, you must be here full time," there's going to be 10 others saying you can work whenever you want. So why is that person going to pick you when they have this flexibility? Because people really value that flexibility. And so it's going to be companies are going to be hard pressed to say we're not doing remote. So we know remote's here to stay, and we know that the office isn't dead. So that was the other thing.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
That was the other thing at the beginning. Is the office? Do we need offices anymore? All these companies have gone 100% remote, and they're fine. But they're fine. They're not great.
Right. So like Shopify, they decided not to. Right. They didn't go out. They went 100%. Like
Remote.
Airbnb went 100%. Like a lot of the tech companies
they
went
did
remote, right?
But then other ones, so Google, Facebook,
Amazon
have said no, because
bring
what
it back.
happens in person is the collaboration, the innovation, the risk taking, that stuff that leads to the real growth of companies and the real, what's the word, brain, the spark.
The spark.
Yeah.
That happens in person, and you can't
get it back.
You can't
replace
replace
that.
that.
I
right?
believe that. I totally believe
Yeah.
that. And just in regards to us at Oakwyn, if we're not together checking in, like in general, like I'm sure with your company as well,
The creativity,
The
is kinda
creativity
lost,
is
right?
lost.
That energy and
Totally.
creativity, right?
and
so-
and the risk, you're right about the risk, because when I'm with them, I can take a bigger leap.
And
Right.
you can't take risks with people you don't trust and people you don't know. And you can't develop that trust and rapport with people virtually.
Yeah, that
I mean,
you
you
don't see.
You can.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm making blanket
Yeah, yeah,
statements, but and there's for example, WordPress has been all remote forever, like pre-COVID, but they do quarterly big team get-togethers just to try and build that trust and rapport so that people then have that relationship when they're working remotely.
So how does that translate into the physical spaces that you're creating?
So what we know is that if people are coming to the office, why are they coming to the office? They're coming to talk to other people. Like first and foremost, talk to other people. There might be materials there that they need. That's
just wanna talk.
secondary. It's other people. So it's the collaboration in formal meeting spaces, at the coffee station. It's overhearing other people's conversations. So that mentorship piece is a really big part of it. And so the way that that's changing space is it becomes less about the me space, so the space where I do my heads down work, and more about the we space. And so that's your lunchrooms, your meeting rooms, your little collaboration zones. And we know it used to be that open collaboration space, so anywhere you could go and sit and talk to somebody else. Doing that near workspace was not very popular because people in the workspaces were trying to do their focused and concentrated work. And they couldn't do that if somebody was yakking right beside them. But now people are saving that focused and concentrated work at home. And when they come into the office, they're really there for the buzz. And so you want to have people around talking. You want to overhear what other people are saying.
I feel like that's so true. I feel so energized when I go into the office. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
I'm an
just
office
huge.
person. I can't do
I can't do the home
I
working
can't
from
do
home.
I tried the work from home
It was
thing.
awful.
I can still do it now if I wanted to, but I choose not to.
Me too. I can sit in the back, or we both have she sheds.
Yeah.
And we could
You
just
could
be
sit
there.
by yourself,
Could.
but it's not
it's
as efficient.
boring.
It's not as fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we just want like there's that connection.
Yeah.
But I find so I've been obviously reading lots of articles about productivity, efficiencies, and there's a lot of different opinions. Some of them are saying that you get more work done at home, and some are saying that you don't.
Depends on the type of work,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. And are you fine? Okay, so let's talk about grass stacks like Vancouver in general. Do you see people coming back to work already? Because I've been noticing downtown is all of a sudden masks off. People are busy again.
It's getting busier.
Yeah.
September 7th is the date that half of our clients are throwing around that they're going back. September 7th.
Oh my God.
So
basically kids are in daycare.
Labor Day's over and life
is
starts.
back.
Yeah. And one thing we're really seeing, so, some of these clients we're working with are doing little pilot projects to their existing space just to try and amp up that we space. Like a lot of people we know are short of meeting space. And so they're trying to get enough meeting space just to get going. Inviting everybody back September 7th. But you can't, you build it and they will come is not quite it.
Yeah.
You need to entice people back in more ways, particularly because if some people come back week 1, there's not a lot of people there. The buzz isn't there. No matter what you do with the space, they're not going to have the experience they're there for. And so what we're seeing and hearing is companies bribing people to come back.
Whoa.
So free parking for the first month, donuts and beer and whatever, little incentives in the office just to get that ball rolling. So
and then there's like a custom, they're comfortable.
Exactly.
They're trapped.
Exactly. Well, and to get the ball rolling so that when you come in, you do have a good experience with other people there.
Yes.
And so then that kind of snowballs and keeps going versus if you just kind of say, okay, the office is open, 2 people show up, 4 people show up. You don't have that buzz, and that's not, no matter what we do with space.
Even for us, I know September is going to be a time where a lot of our agents come back, and it's definitely top of mind. Like, how do we get people back in the doors? Do you find that a lot of people are, I guess the meeting spaces are really super important now.
Yeah. Because we know there's going to be a remote. We know that half of a team is going to be in the office and half at home, likely. And so how are they meeting? They're not meeting in person. They need a room to be able to have a call, because those calls can't happen in the open space. It's just too distracting.
Yes. I think that's so
Zoom
true.
room. That was a Morgan word.
Yeah.
I'm using it from now on.
I'm like, Zoom room. It's so good. And you know what? Because of that, it's almost like a drop-in space for people just to come in. Because the safety of COVID, that's still
totally
questionable, right? Some people are just like, I don't know if I can get there.
Yeah.
Obviously, vaccinations are helping everyone. Thank you, Vancouver, for being one of the highest in the world. But it is going to be do you feel like it's going to be a hurdle?
It definitely is. And it was a hurdle for me. We were at home for 2 months, solid-ish, and started coming back once a week last June or July. And it was weird. Like it felt weird. The first time you come back, you haven't been there in a couple of months. You're just used to being at home, and it's something to get over.
For me, it's opposite. I came back and it was weird not hearing the hallways full. So it was kind of like too quiet. And, we were like, wait, and now people are back in. And like even just sitting here with conveyance, hearing people laughing. Yeah. How beautiful is that, right? It's just
there's such action out there.
There's action. Yeah. I'm like, they're doing something there. I want to know what they're doing. FOMO, I'm missing out.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be really an interesting struggle for a lot of different companies to put in spaces that you can hear that, build that rapport, get that connection back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I roll you back? Because right now we're working on our Edgemont Village.
Yes, that's right.
Right. We're opening Edgemont soon, and Lynn, you're helping us. This is our 3rd office we're going through. But I almost want to roll us back into time. And if you remember when we're sitting in your boardroom and you're presenting the concepts and things like that, what was going through your mind and when you were developing some of the concepts based on our conversations about what we wanted for our culture and things like that to arrive to kind of where we are today? I'm gonna force you to
I don't remember
because I remember Alice in Wonderland plates. Remember? So you don't remember that? I remember everything.
Memory.
I remember.
I have the worst memory.
Remember?
We
did 3 concepts. I think
there's 2 concepts at the beginning in 2 totally different directions. We didn't know you guys yet. We didn't know we hadn't. So this clean aesthetic came out through these 2
collaboration.
Concepts.
Yeah.
So one of the concepts was really
Alice in Wonderland.
It was residentially focused.
Yes,
there was things like a lot of trim, but using trim in kind of an overly trimmy way. I think what it was.
Yeah. I remember plates and
it was really. I remember
like grandma's kitchen. Kind of.
We were like, that's not us.
And the other one was very white and clean and almost Japanese. Like I want to say there was a circular window that we put somewhere that didn't land in the final space, but it felt very Japanese garden to me somehow. Anyway, but that's you guys saw that one. You were like, well, obviously that's it. And we were like, oh, okay. So that's what we roll with. Yeah.
You guys picked do you think that you meet so many different business owners. Do you feel like the brand of like a company speaks to the owners? Like, is there a correlation between that?
So, yes. Sometimes, not always.
Okay.
And often who we're working with is not the business owner. So we work a lot with facilities people, HR people, and like CEOs of these bigger companies have very little to do or say with what we're doing. It falls on the facilities folks. And so the branding is completely separate from who they are. And so, and often people are going through rebranding as we're doing space too, which can be a challenge because if you don't get it soon enough, it ends up being applied to the space rather than really integrated. But you guys came to us with the full package done and
we had the branding done at that point,
which was great, and made it so that we could really integrate it into how we dealt with the space.
Yeah. Whenever I'm sitting with you, it's like, I can't stop thinking about the word that you always use. You're always saying sophisticated. And it nailed it really, I think, to us, because that's what we were trying to get across. So
do you have I'm just curious now, do you have a favorite element that you've incorporated into the Oakwyn office?
Your space?
Yeah. Like, is there something that you're like, hey, I loved this idea that we carried through?
Didn't you guys get an award for this office?
Yes, we got an award for this one. And you know what? I don't know if I ever read to you because they say stuff about the award or about you send in a write up and pictures.
What award did you win on this? I can't remember that. So the audience knows what award you won.
We won an interior design award of merit or excellence? Merit. Yeah.
No, Award of Excellence.
Award of Excellence.
And it was for
the IDIBC. So the IDIBC is the Interior Designers Institute of British Columbia. It's our professional association.
Nice.
So there's an award, awards every year. There wasn't one last year, but there will be one coming up this year. And
so you won it. And what did they say?
So the thing and they say a lot of things, but the one thing that stood out, which really, nailed it for me, was it's amazing how much we did in the budget that we had.
Oh God.
I
gotta say, yay!
Yeah, right.
I gotta swear on that one. I just remember, and how much for changing.
I know.
It was an
Morgan's
evolution.
wanted bocce balls since this office, and I said, okay, this Edge One office you can have bocce, but no other office.
No, but we really, you guys were super resourceful with that.
Yeah,
and we have a budget and we're going to work to it. And even in this office, so we really focused our spending dollars on the ground floor, in the front of house, in your boardroom.
Yes.
Because that's where people we're going to see the most of. Upstairs, I think we did a different carpet upstairs because it was $5 cheaper. We really tried to focus on the value where we needed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that you're so resourceful. We used IKEA, guys, for some of that stuff.
Yeah. IKEA has its place.
Yep. IKEA has its place.
IKEA has its place. I will always.
Yeah. But just say that. You made everything, like even just, we're in the room right now, everyone. We're in the HQ big oak room.
Yeah.
And just behind us, there is actually a string art.
Mm-hmm.
And she had some of your interns
came and did it overnight.
Two of our junior designers, they actually started a little company on the side to do this kind of thing. I don't know if they still do any, but after we did yours, they did a couple others, I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, that's
so what's your favorite element? I didn't even get to hear your favorite element. I'm super curious because I don't know.
I don't think there is an element that we have repeated in each.
No. Okay. How about this office and then downtown?
So this office, I love your reception desk.
This office is sexy. It's a sexy room.
I was saying to Arlene yesterday.
Yeah, we were picking out stone for the new office.
That desk was the bane of my existence when we were doing it.
I remember that.
We did like 30 iterations. Like
you were like going.
There was a lot. I was sitting at my kitchen table at like 11 p.m. figuring out this desk because I couldn't get it. Anyway, that's the one. We got it.
Yeah, the challenging part with the space is we wanted it to feel grand, and there wasn't quite enough.
It was very short.
It was short.
It was
I remember
short.
walking. We're like walking. You're like the reception desk is right here. I'm like walking.
We measured it out. And the other, I don't know if people know that how much we worked with a feng shui consultant and how that's been really
both of them.
Oh, this is all of them. Very, very interesting. Yes.
It was the feng shui consultant that said the desk must be there.
Yes.
Because normally we probably wouldn't have put it there because it was such a short space. We probably would have tried to turn reception around a bit because of the lack of space. But
It worked out beautifully.
Yeah. So I guess, so for everybody, like we do hire a feng shui specialist,
We do.
you know, and that feng shui specialist looks at energy and, you know, how your stars align, the ownership group, and really plots out where fundamental elements had to be in the offices. And, you know, even for the downtown office, for example, we had a completely different vision. If you've been in that office,
Oh my gosh.
essentially you're supposed to come off the elevator and in our minds, we're like, oh, perfect.
hit
You're
reception.
gonna hit
It's kinda like
reception.
what
Same
HQ
strategy
was.
as here.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we were thinking.
Yeah,
You're
you're-
off reception. You come out the elevator, you see the desk.
Exactly. But the feng shui said, no, you have to have your reception desk facing this other direction. So that was like a humdinger.
It was. Why would we put it over there?
Humdinger. She
Yeah,
just said
she did.
humdinger.
What? Is that a weird word?
I don't know.
Humdinger. Isn't it from? It's from a kids show.
Kids show. Yeah, it's a kids
Well,
show.
I'm a mom. So.
Might as well say Balderdash.
Paw Patrol.
Balderdash.
Is from
It
Paw
is.
Patrol. Yes.
The mayor. That's right. The mayor.
Okay, okay. Just so everyone knows, we all in this room, we all have young kids together, so it's hilarious. But what's cool about the downtown office, there are elements in there, just like HQ, that are with feng shui that we do not need. There's no reason there's a gold bar at the front of in the
That's
entranceway. There's no
right.
reason for that to be there except for feng shui.
Yes. So the money can
The
flow
money
down the
can flow
elevator.
down.
Yep.
Yep.
But it's done you guys well.
And you know
Right?
what? He told us where to sit, and it wasn't until like I went back to the place I was supposed to sit
And
in the last 3 years, and it's just taken off. It's funny how little things feng shui, like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
After, I mean, he did this office and I was not, you know, well, I'll follow along. After the Yaletown office, I'm a convert. Like that was
Yes.
that was
That was
the
the
right
right
move,
decision.
putting the desk there. That is not what I would have done off the bat, but it feels good.
So is that one of your favorite things? Is
Yes.
just getting off?
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
different. It's not what you expect. And I think also, because I had to talk you guys into that big O.
Yeah.
There's a big O glass wall
It's
just off the
amazing.
elevator, which took me a little convincing, but it's so good.
It's so good.
yeah. It's
so
super. It's got good impact, right?
Right,
Right off the
right.
bat, and it's got just these nice layers because
Exactly.
you've got dimension.
And we're thanking you too, because for me, okay, so let me just tell you what I love about what Lynn does. Okay. First of all, you know, I love color, but you know where to put it in the right places. Like like our benches, our pieces that are just powerful when you walk in. That I think you guys really know how to manage color with sophistication, if that makes
Yeah,
any sense.
yeah.
Because sometimes you can
With
just go
restraint?
with restraint. But you are just excellent. But you're right. The biggest thing is your guys are resourceful with what we need. And that's a really hard thing to do as a designer, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. It really,
It's easy to spend a lot of money.
it is. It is really easy.
Yeah.
Well, we're very excited for our North End office. What are you most excited for part one of part two?
The lighting in
Ah.
reception is going to be really nice.
Yeah.
The one, the little
Like
thing?
the bars,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
bars.
like they're very sculptural, and I think it'll really like even going into that space now after they took out the ceiling and the bulkhead, it's so much better.
Yeah.
It's still so, I mean, yes, it's so great, but I feel like it's going to just get so powerful.
Yeah.
And I also think you just did such a great idea, but the colors of the ceilings, front and back.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Like black and
Dark,
you guys are going to
dark
see
and
it.
light. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll see it when it comes, but I think that's going to be exciting. North Vancouver is very special. We've been wanting to do that for many years, and finally we're doing it.
Well, it's funny because your map here doesn't have North Vancouver on it.
Oh, we got to get another. We got to get
a new
another
map.
map.
New maps.
I know.
New
Well,
maps.
and when we were looking at it, because how it fit, I go, we'll just cut. Like, where do we cut? North
Yeah,
or
yeah,
south?
yeah.
And we
Yeah.
cut north. We should have cut south.
I just realized we have to get all the equipment, like glasses and everything. I just realized that, like all the things that we have to put in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
We got to do all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Lots of little things.
Those are fun part for me and Arlene.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, I'll
You go
get this.
shopping.
Yeah.
Because you guys went shopping for Yaletown and accessorized the whole place. And I think you did a fantastic
You
job.
know what? I think we've done enough to make really good decisions
Yeah.
on what to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With plates and,
Yeah.
little things
Yeah.
like what's designer and cool
Yeah.
over function.
Yeah.
Which Arlene's really good about.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's it like being a partner now? So, you've kind of, for people who are listening, who are entrepreneurs or getting into leadership roles, what has that been like for you?
It's been something I've been driving towards for 20 years,
Wow.
less, 15 years. I did a work experience at SSDG when I was in school because my dad is an architect and said, oh, well, if you want to be an interior designer, you should work here.
Wow.
Okay. So I got myself a work experience there during school. And then I did a part-time internship. And after my work experience, one of the partners at the time, Keith, interviewed me to see if I was going to stay on and said, where do you see yourself? What are you going to do long term? And I said, well, I'm going to be the boss.
So you knew it.
Oh, yeah.
You knew early on that
yeah.
you were going to be a boss.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be the boss.
Love that.
And he said, okay, well, you should.
No wonder we get along.
That's how we get along. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. He said, you should buy in here. It's really hard to start your own firm. And I said, okay, I'm going to do that then. And so here we are.
Keith's a great guy. Hey,
Keith is, yes. Have you met Keith?
Yes. We met him when we came in once. I think I just met him very quickly with Susan.
Amazing. Yeah.
It's amazing. Well, you did. And so what is that role to you now? What's the big difference?
So for me, it's a different mindset. Like working at night doesn't feel ugly anymore. Is that the right way to put it? Like I used to really, you put the work in to get the job done, but it always felt a little heavy. And so now, I work to get the job done, but when I'm working, it doesn't.
Less resentful.
No resentful. Like I feel like what I'm doing to support a team. And so it's important.
It's important that you're doing that. It feels
more important. Yeah. And not important in like a self-important way, but important in what I'm doing is helping other people.
How does it feel to be looked at as like a major inspiration for women in your industry?
Well, I don't think I am.
Well, you are. It's official.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I think, I know some people that work for your firm that I went to high school with.
I know.
And the amount from people talking to people and
Morgan knows everybody.
The inspiration.
Really? Oh, that's really nice.
Very
to hear.
important. But
That's
what would you
really
like them to take from you? I think you, of course, being in a leadership position now.
Yeah.
What do you want people to take from the experience working with you?
Pause. Take from the experience working for me. I think so. I have always been very much about work-life balance, and I talk about working at night, and it did bother me because I really value time management, and I get my shit done.
Yes,
in the time, I'm very good at time management, and so if anybody could take anything from me, just that. You need to manage your time, and it's something that it's only yours. And so manage what you're doing
a set amount of time.
Exactly.
Oh,
and
that's such a good one. Good tip. I gotta take a page out of that one.
Yes,
you have a certain amount of time, so do what you need to do in that time,
and let it go.
And then let it go.
Yeah, let it be.
And
let it rest.
With design, because with design, you can spin and spin and spin and spin.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then spin and spin and spin some more. And so,
so many choices and so many.
Exactly. I have 4 hours to get the space plan done. All right, we're going to do it in 4 hours because I don't have the time.
And look how quickly we spun a workspace out yesterday.
Exactly.
It's that's a very great thing for people that are trying to be, in your position, male or female, to own your time.
Own your time. You can't get it back.
Yeah. And she's not only, I will say you are a principal, which is a young principal of an interior design firm, but you're also a mother and a great mother. Well, whatever way we want to, we all are.
Depends who you ask.
Yeah, exactly. What's the biggest challenge? We did a little prelude with Arlene and I about motherhood and everything. This will probably be right before yours, but what would be your biggest takeaway from that, dealing with,
I have thought it would be harder actually. So the word in the firm, and before I became a principal, it was, it's going to take you 2 years. It's going to be a hard 2 years. It takes 2 years to kind of get into the role and really understand and not feel stressed is the wrong word, but it takes 2 years to feel like you know what you're doing.
Yeah, like displaced or whatever, right?
And so when I got pregnant with our second, my husband, and this was in the works, but my husband and I sat down and I said, I'm going to have a really rough 2 years. I need you to take all the stuff on so that I can just be fine. And it's been fine. Yeah, I kind
Husband.
Good husband.
Good husband. Good husband.
We said the same thing.
We said the same thing.
because
Interesting.
you know what? It kind of goes back to what everyone says. Like it's the woman behind the man.
Yeah. It's the
goes
mental
to-
load.
It's
So,
the mental load.
Thinking about what classes they're taking and what their childcare is doing and are they
Yes.
sick and when do they go to
Yes.
the doctor and somebody has a dentist appointment and the other one, it's a constant.
I know.
Yeah.
Hum.
So yeah, the constant hum. And so having somebody to take on some of that has been huge.
It's a team, man.
Yeah.
Team
Yeah.
effort.
It is.
Definitely.
Which I feel like that is the big bite. First of all, we're so proud to have you by our side on this run and we're going to continue. So
we're
don't
gonna,
stop.
we're going across Canada, right?
Yeah.
That's
It's
the plan. That's
we gotta
the
get,
plan.
we gotta get
So
to the
we gotta-
islands and up
We gotta
interior
finish
first.
BC and then we'll head east.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
And you're going to be
I'm
on
on
for a
board.
ride.
I love you guys.
Well, we are so lucky.
I'm so proud of you in a weirdly like non-motherly way. But I feel like I've watched you grow, and I've grown up at the same time. Like it's been
yeah.
it's been years.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
8 years.
watching you guys grow up and the first project, it was really stressful for you.
Oh no, you have no idea.
You have no idea. It was like
Mike
I was
was
like, we're going to
having
run out
nervous
of money
breakdowns.
in June. So
And then Mike
Yeah.
was like, I need to sell more condos.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
I
exactly.
remember.
We're like, I was doing this. I was like, we're going to run out of money just around this time when the next deposit's due or next construction run or whatever. And Mike's like, oh, okay, I got to sell like.
But you know what's interesting about our story? We like yourself, you got to get thrown into it to kind of learn from it.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
And so
It's a huge leap
it's our
of faith.
first business.
Yeah.
And we were like, thankfully, I'm sure with yourself too, like, thankfully we had a team. When one was down, we were able to push back up and, just keep on kind of going this way.
I have amazing partners. And not husband partners,
Yes.
but
Yes.
business partners.
Yes.
I could not do it without them.
Oh,
Yeah.
isn't that beautiful?
Could not do it without them. We have lunch once a week and we call it our, like, it's my time to just like
Vent.
regroup. And I'm not, you can see if somebody's not okay and just being able to vent about it and
Vent.
having somebody to
Vent.
talk about it and somebody who understands what you're going through.
Yes.
And I could not do it without them.
Yeah.
No question about it.
Well, we couldn't have done this without you,
That's
Lynn,
right.
and SSDG. You guys have been an amazing partner in our team and building out Oakwyn and carrying our vision through. It's been amazing.
It's
to
been
have
amazing.
that in
And
our
Lynn,
physical space.
Tell me if there are other people out there that were looking to kind of redesign their space, build out a space, how do they get a hold of you? How do they get a hold of you?
What
I
should
guess
say?
website.
Website is probably
Website
the
and
best.
your
then
email address.
My email address. Okay, so my email address is lhughes@ssdg.com. So that's LHUGHES at
Okay, go ahead.
ssdg.com.
And the website is ssdg.com.
And the website is ssdg.com.
And the IG, which everyone's watching, I love your IG.
Do you?
I like tag Oakwyn all the
Oh.
time to SSDG because I think it's such a great, you guys have such a great fold for it. And people are shopping on that now, right?
Yeah, they are. And we share a lot of team stuff
do,
on that, which I
yeah.
think is also important because you're buying into our culture too. And that's really
Your
when you
culture
want
is
somebody-
exactly like ours. Family first.
Family first.
Yeah, love
And
it.
balance.
Balance, which is key for us. Well, thanks so much, Lynn. It is amazing to have you. We're going to be spending lots of time together for sure in the future. And if you guys want to reach her, you guys know her contact information. Thanks so much for listening. to the
Thanks
Oakwyn
for
Pod.
having me.
Thanks. Thanks so much for listening to the Oakwyn Podcast. If you've enjoyed our podcast, please give us a 5-star and a review. And if you're an agent from a different office or another office and are curious about Oakwyn, how do we find us?
Visit us at oakwyn.com/join.
And pop into that little message box, Pod 2021, and you will get a
Swag.
mystery swag. Thanks so much for listening.